India, a dynamic and varied nation in South Asia, located in South Asia, bordered by Pakistan to the northwest, China and Nepal to the north, Bhutan to the northeast, and Bangladesh and Myanmar to the east. Population about 1.44 billion as of 2024, $2,500 per capita. The more recent annual income shows both room for growth and obstacle. Agriculture, information technology, textile, pharmaceuticals, and tourism are major sources of income for the country. Since 2014, Narendra Modi has been the Prime Minister. The nation is confronted with issues like an inflation rate of 6.8% and employment rate of 7.8%. The quality of life in urban and rural areas differs, with urban areas typically providing better access to healthcare and education. Government has launched several initiatives to reduce poverty in response to these disparities, such as employment programs like MGNREGA, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, and direct cash transfer.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Izlan bin Muhammad Syakir, and I want to talk about history, national income, GDP and GDP per capita for India. So this is the table for history, national income of India. From 1991 to 2000, this is where reform era began in India. Economic policy shifted towards liberalization. Major reforms in 1991 aimed at the globalization and market-driven growth. From 2000 to 2010, this is the high growth phase for GDP growth rate in India. The IT and services sector became key drivers of national income. From 2011-2019, high growth with rising services sector, stable reforms, and global integration, currency, demonetization, impact short-term growth but formalized the economy, goods and services tax introduced to streamline taxation. From 2020 to 2021, pandemic caused significant contraction in economic activity. From 2021 to 2023, post-pandemic economy recovery through government stimulus and reform. So this is a graph for GDP and GDP per capita for India. For overall upward trend, from 2013 to 2023, India's GDP has shown a consistent upward trend, increasing from approximately 1.85 trillion USD in 2013 to 3.55 trillion USD in 2023. This demonstrates significant economic growth. Impact of COVID-19 in 2020, there was a noticeable dip in both GDP and GDP per capita. India's GDP dropped to 2.66 trillion USD and GDP per capita fell to 1,916 USD. This reflects the economic disruption caused by the global COVID-19 pandemic. Post-pandemic recovery. Following the decline, India demonstrated strong economic recovery by 2021. GDP rebounded to 3.17 trillion USD and GDP per capita increased to 2,250 USD. The growth continued steadily in 2023. GDP per capita growth. While the overall GDP grew, GDP per capita also followed a gradual upward trend, increasing from 1,438 USD in 2013 to 2,485 USD in 2023. This suggested that economic improvements have contributed to raising the average income levels.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Adam and I will talk about gross national profit in India. In 2030, India's GNP was around 1.94 trillion. By 2014, it has risen to 2.02 trillion. There was a steady increase throughout the decades, reaching the 3.62 trillion in 2023, despite the challenge posed by the pandemic. Notably, India's GNP experienced a slight dip in 2020, falling to 2.66 trillion, but quickly rebound in the following year.
Population and national income. India is the second most populous country in the world with a diverse economy. Its GDP has seen significant growth, especially in sectors like IT, manufacturing, and agriculture. Use current statistics on India's GDP and population trends to set the context.
Key sectors. Highlight the role of key sectors in GDP contribution. For example, agriculture, industry, and service. Graphical representation can be used to show their relative contribution over time. Second, inflation trends in India. India has faced fluctuating inflation rates over the past 15 years. Key contributors to inflation include food price, energy costs, and global economic trends. Current issues. Recent global factors like supply chain disruption and rising crude oil price have impacted inflation. Discuss domestic policies such as subsidies or interest rate change and their effectiveness in managing inflation. Third, unemployment in India. India struggles with structural and clinical unemployment. Young unemployment is a significant concern, particularly in rural areas and among educated population. Current issues. The post-COVID-19 economic recovery shows uneven job creation across sectors. Automation and a skills gap in the workforce exacerbate unemployment issues. 4. Policy measures to address these issues. Monetary policies. The Reserve Bank of India (RBI) adjusts interest rate to manage inflation and stimulate economic growth. For example, the recent change in repo rates have been aimed at controlling inflation. Fiscal policies. Government initiatives like Made in India and Production Linked Incentive (PLI) seem aimed to create jobs and reduce unemployment. Direct Benefit Transfer (DBTS) help alleviate poverty indirectly reducing unemployment. Other measures, skills development programs such as Skill India and digital literacy initiative tackle unemployment at the grassroots level.
Last but not least, linking findings with current events. First, discuss the effects of global shocks like the Russia to Ukraine war on energy prices and inflation in India. Second, the role of government spending on infrastructure to create jobs and manage inflation. Third, challenges in achieving sustainable growth amidst environmental concerns such as the push for renewable energy versus reliance on coal. For the conclusion, inflation refers to the increase in the prices of most goods and services of daily or common use. When prices or money supply increase, the situation is described as inflationary when either the prices or the supply of money are rising, but in practice both will rise together. Inflation represents a decrease in the purchasing power of a unit of a currency and it will be measured in percentage. Inflation is no stranger to Indian economy, because their country has achieved international growth after the liberalization of Indian economy. We have investigated that inflation today in India is caused by more global factors than domestic factors.